Cecil, you ruined our whole play. Shame on you.
Oh, get out of this room, will you please?
It's all your fault. If you hadn't forgotten your lines, you wouldn't have stayed on the balcony. And if you hadn't stayed on the balcony, you wouldn't have fallen down when it broke with us. And if you hadn't fallen down, you wouldn't have torn your tights. And if you hadn't torn your tights, you could have stood up and walked off the stage. And if you could have stood up so the torn place wouldn't have shown, everything would have been all right.
Will you say that over again in Pig Latin?
Romeo wasn't supposed to die in that act.
Well, I had to make him do something. I couldn't just sit there on the stage in the middle of the broken balcony.
Well, you didn't have to make out like you died, did you?
You went off and left me out there, and the curtain wouldn't come down. What could I do?
Oh, you could have made out like you went to sleep.
Ha! Who could sleep with that audience making that much noise, laughing?
Even I would have had more sense than to die before the play was half over.
Listen, Sally, you weren't running this show. It's over now anyhow.
Well, what did the director say?
He said we couldn't finish the play because I was dead.
Oh, and I wanted to do that last scene where I was so good.
Well, it would look swell if I came out again after I died.
I could just kill you for dying, Cecil.
Look, will you get out of this dressing room so I can get out of these torn tights?
And your Aunt and Uncle Thomas out in front. What must they have thought?
They never saw Romeo and Juliet before. They thought it was the regular ending.
It's a good thing I fell on you when the balcony broke. I might have been hurt.
You didn't do my stomach any good either when you fell on me.
I don't think that's a nice word, Cecil.
Well, it wasn't a nice feeling either.
Oh, Cecil, who's that? I'm not supposed to be in here.
Well, I told you to get out.
Oh, maybe it's the professor to expel you for ruining the class play.
No, because he said everything there was to say. Come in. Oh, Mr. Smith.
Oh, Uncle Thomas. Oh, how did you get back here?
Hello, Cecil. Your aunt and I have been waiting out in front for you two so long that I thought I'd better see what's detaining you.
Oh, Uncle Thomas, wasn't it awful?
Wasn't what awful, dear?
When the balcony broke and we both fell.
Oh. Well, I imagine it was a little hard on Cecil. How did you ever rehearse that scene?
Uncle Thomas, you don't think it happened on purpose, do you?
See, Sally? See? I told you no one would notice.
Uncle Thomas, are you sticking up for Cecil?
Well, did something go wrong with the play?
Oh, you know it did. You're just trying to be polite. It's Cecil's fault for getting caught on a nail.
Did I put the nail there, huh? Did I? No.
I thought you both were extremely good. I was proud of you. And so was your Aunt, Cecil.
Well, didn't you know there were 3 or more scenes yet? Romeo wasn't supposed to die in that act. We both die later.
Well, I thought perhaps this was a modern version.
Uncle Thomas, you did not. You're just trying to make Cecil feel better. Well, I don't want him to feel better. He fixed it so I couldn't die in the last act, and I worked so hard to die.
Is Aunt Bess waiting out in front, sir?
That's what you told us to do.
Did it look so awful, Mr. Smith?
Well, did what look awful, Cecil?
Well, when the balcony broke and we both tumbled in the middle of the stage.
Well, to tell the truth, Cecil, we suspected that there might be something wrong. But then that's to be expected in these college plays.
Well, it would have been all right, but I ripped my tights and I didn't dare get up and walk off the stage then.
That's why he has that towel around his costume, Uncle Thomas.
Oh, I see. Well, that was unfortunate.
Well, it was worse than that. It was, well, to say the least, it was unfortunate.
Then the dumb bunnies that were working the curtain got so excited they let it stick or jam or whatever curtains do, and it wouldn't come down.
Those lines we were saying after we fell, we just made those up. We had to do something.
Yes, I believe you did repeat a few lines.
And there Cecil sat in the middle of the stage and wouldn't get up.
Yeah, and you walked off and left me sitting there.
You could have backed off the stage.
No, I couldn't. There were too many girls back on the stage that I would have backed into.
So you saw what he did, Uncle Thomas. He died right there in the middle of the stage.
Could I sit there and talk to myself? What else could I do? Start singing?
Yes, that would have been better.
Yeah, that would have looked swell. Me sitting there as Romeo in the middle of the stage singing, I'm a ding-dong daddy from Duma. No, far better death than that.
Well, here. I think you're both taking this a little too seriously. We enjoyed it thoroughly.
You see, After Cecil made out like he was dead, the curtain came down and then the play ended. Couldn't go on if Romeo died, could it?
Not unless you've shifted the scene to heaven.
Oh, no. Cecil wouldn't be there. Romeo might, but not Cecil.
Did I ask you to come in here in this dressing room? Did I?
I only came in to see if you'd changed, and you haven't.
Now, Sally, aren't you a little hard on Cecil?
Oh, I wanted everything to be a big success, though.
It was. These things aren't of paramount importance. I would say it was very successful.
Ha! You should have heard what the professor that put this on had to say to me.
Well, forget all about it. Now, you change out of those, whatever it is you have on, and come out in front where your aunt and I are waiting.
Well, I'll go with you now, Uncle Thomas.
I guess Aunt Bess got tired of waiting. Come on in. We're in here. Oh, the dean.
Oh, the dean. Oh, good evening. Did you get in the wrong dressing room?
No, I think not. You're Cecil Shortridge, aren't you?
Yes, sir. Romeo. Sure, this is Mr. Smith, Sally's uncle. This is the dean, Mr. Smith.
How do you do, Mr. Smith?
How do you do?
Did you witness the performance these young people put on?
Yes, I did. We were just discussing it.
I would like to talk to this young man alone for a few moments.
Oh, it's all right, Dean. They can stay. They'll know that I'm kicked out anyhow when I go home.
Oh, Cecil, I'm sorry. Honest, I am. It wasn't his fault, Dean. I think you take this too seriously. Accidents always happen, don't they, Uncle Thomas?
I think we should hear what the dean has to say, Sally.
He's going to expel Cecil for ruining the play.
No, young lady. To the contrary, it won my admiration. To be perfectly frank, these performances, as a rule, bore me very much.
You mean you aren't sore? That is, well, you're going to tell... Oh, what do you mean?
Young man, I've been looking for a student that I could entrust with an important post. I think I found him.
Cecil, you're going to get a post.
You mean, what?
Are you conferring some honor upon Cecil, Dean?
After a fashion, yes. You see, Mr. Smith, we are raising funds to build a new stadium. These contributions are solicited from graduates. I'm looking for a boy here with imagination and courage to take over the duties of secretary. There is a certain amount of work attached to it outside of studies, but it also carries certain privileges that the other students do not enjoy.
Dean, do you mean that you're going to pick me?
Exactly.
But why? I don't understand.
Well, anyone that has the audacity to try and improve upon a Shakespeare play by changing the ending, acting promptly in the face of an emergency, that student is the one to take charge of the stadium funds.
Cecil, you're elected. Oh, everybody on the campus will look up to you. A hero. I told you were, Cecil. I always said to you, Cecil, you'll someday rise to great heights, even if you do fall and tear your tights. Oh, Cecil, I made up a rhyme. Did you hear that? I made up some poetry. I'm good, too.